Good evening. Once again, welcome to this webinar, Many Journeys of a Student of Students at SMI. I'm Mahesh Bhatt, your host for the evening. I'm a senior faculty member at Srishti. I have with me uh, Ramesh Kalkur, who is an associate director and director of academics, and Kumar KJ, who heads our foundation studies program. Both of them have been working at Srishti for a very long time. And many students of Srishti who are alumni have passed through their doors over the last many years. So this evening, we often get asked the question, can you paint the journey of a student at Srishti? Srishti is a unique institute, which is one of the prime, a top uh, transdisciplinary art and design school. So to know more about it, we have Ramesh and Kumar who will talk to us. I'll ask some questions to them and we start off. And if you and there will be a Q&A at the end of it. And if you participants have any questions, you are welcome to type your questions on the chat box and we will answer it after some time. But when we speak, if you have some questions, feel free to type your questions on the chat box. Secondly, this webinar is being recorded. It will be put up on our website via YouTube, via our YouTube account later on. So I just wanted to let you all know. To start off this evening, I will request Ramesh to talk a little bit about the uniqueness of Srishti, or Srishti Manipal Institute, or SMI as we fondly call it. Over to you, Ramesh.
Thanks, Mahesh, and thanks, Kumar, for joining. And good evening to all of you. Welcome to this webinar. Okay, as Mahesh said, both of us have been here for a long time. We have done this several times. Every time I do it, I feel that I'm doing it for the first time. So that's also because I think over the year we kind of we evolved in different ways and different forms. I think when I did the first foundation presentation, maybe 15 years ago, or 15, 17 years ago, there were three courses: visual communication, furniture design, fashion design. They were 5 year long. And we even used to take students who have completed 10th. You don't have to do 12th. In fact, I did the diploma in painting when I completed 10th and I joined 5 years. Then I studied 4 more years. That's different. But basically, from there to here, now in undergrad 4 year program, we offer 11 courses, 8 design courses, 3 Bachelor of Fine Art courses. Within the 8 design courses, I can say one or two do look at technology. So, as opposed to School of Design or as opposed to School of Art, it's in the name, Sushti School of Art, Design and Technology. It's not a lie. You see creative and applied computation, which is a technology based, using technology as it's not just coding, but using technology as a medium, as a perspective. So how do design students or art students use technology in a different way than the technology students? So that is there, and then we also have artistic approach. There is contemporary art practice, which is medium agnostic. It's not painting, sculpture, printmaking. You can choose any medium as long as you are a creative expression student interested in that field of practice. But we also have put film and animation within the Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. So it's a artistic approach to filmmaking, artistic approach to animation that doesn't stop you from going to make a corporate film, because you are learning the basic technique of filmmaking, basic technique of 2D and 3D animation. Then how do where and how do you use that medium is up to you. And then we have array of usually popular courses, visual communication to product design to textile design to human-centered design, which is kind of looks at UI and UX apart from looking at what is philosophically looking at what is human-centeredness. You have information arts and design course. So the reason I'm briefly touching upon all this is because you're studying in a place, the ecosystem is very broad. In fact, in this afternoon, one of our alumni who visited us, she completed in 2014, Ruchika Nambiar. You can look at her maybe Instagram. She is teaching at RISD, Rhode Island School of Design. And I was introducing her to colleagues who were sitting next to me. One was Guru Raja. You can look at his CV on website. He's interested in ecology, interested in frog, environment. I had Partha next to me, Partha Sarathi Sharma. He is also interested in ecology. He's interested in monkeys. Left to me was Jyotiman, cognitive scientist, and then next to him was Ravindra, who was he's an artist. In front of Ravi Kumar from the textile design. So if you just look at the lunch table, if I mean, I'm stopping it there, but my lunch table this afternoon, each individual basically was from a different discipline because we have that array of courses and you need people from technology, you need people who are interested in science and maths, you need people who are interested in environment. So that's the beauty of studying in studying at SST, Mahesh. If I got it right.
Can't hear you, Mahesh.
Mahesh,
No, no, I was maybe unmute. So, thank you, Ramesh. That was very nice and concise. Now, a question to Kumar. Kumar, we're constantly asked, what happens in year one? See, people join visual communication or information arts, but they're all together, or film, whether BFA, BDes, they're all together. And, we keep hearing that, we make them unlearn and teach them new ways of learning. And you've been doing this for a very long time. And can you please tell us what happens in foundation?
Thanks, Mahesh. Thanks, Ramesh. Okay, hello to everyone. So I think the first years is a very, very important year for any student. And especially coming to a art design kind of a environment, it is a completely different, a shift from the kind of schooling and pre-university that one has. The learning methodology is so different here. That foundation is I think the words is so important, foundation. I think the stronger the foundation, the better is what you can build on it. So looking at it as a practical, the way it has been termed, foundation. So as it's been explained, it's a space to unlearn. What does that mean? It's a space to let go all your baggage, let go all your pre-notions, and experiment and explore and fail and uh, uh, begin to learn something new and be a learner. That is what the whole idea of foundation at Srishti has been. I think Ramesh is one of founder member in terms of curriculum for foundation studies. So it is largely inquiry based. The process at foundation is largely inquiry based, and it can extend from social, cultural, environmental, political, or science and technology. It kind of a student is exposed to all these diverse fields. So what happens is, at the end of the day, we want a student to have a stand and take a critical and begin a critical thinking process in him. Okay, that's at one end. So the other end is that we introduce a lot of design principles, tools, methods, mediums, technology-based, what do you say, softwares, etc. That is used for as an expression. So it is a very experiential space for a student, and which builds one's imagination and also a practice. So to put it in a nutshell, that is what we call and learning at the foundation level. I hope it is elaborate enough.
Yeah, that's nice. Thank you. Maybe we'll come back to you for some more, or the audience may have some questions.
Right.
Again, people who are attending the webinar, if you have questions, please type into the chat box, and we will come back to your question and answer that a little later. Now, Ramesh, a question that we are asked all the time is, can you paint the picture of a student's journey through this 4-year program? A typical, journey. So, is there a typical journey at Srishti, or what happens now? Kumar told us what happens in foundation. What happens after that? Is there a typical journey or not? I mean, will a human-centered design student become human-centered design, or can they become something else later on? Just tell us a little more, Ramesh. Over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Mahesh. I use one metaphor, which is, this, I mean, I did this journey, that's why I'm taking this. This was a Euro rail pass I took when I traveled there for a month. So it's like that. You have many destinies, and then in mind, you have a plan in mind, but you can also take many trains going in many different directions. That's the beauty of studying in Srishti. That's another. It is connected to what I spoke in my first session now, that you have different kinds of practitioners, and then you sign up for a course thinking, okay, it's design and ecology, let me find out. And suddenly you will be in a studio which has got data of recording of sounds from nature for last 1 month. It might be 2 TB data, and then you're trying to analyze that data, and then you think of some other idea, and then you say, I am in another human-centered design class which talks about importance of museumification of urban life. It looks like they're far apart. So one is talking about environment, one is talking about urban ecology and museum. Where is it connected? But suddenly you might be in the third course which connects all that, or it might kind of give you a hint where you can connect these two things and come up with an idea. So that's the beauty of, I mean, I've been an artist, and I often find that, a known idea and executing that, there is no excitement. When in any artist, or even designers, get excited, is that when you juxtapose almost like two unknown ideas, and then suddenly something clicks, something works, and suddenly you get so excited, that because you haven't seen that idea. It's not that I already have an idea, and I don't need myself. I need four laborers who can execute it. I almost feel that's not that's not design. That is execution of a design idea or artistic idea. So that's what can happen in Srishti, because it allows you to navigate. It allows you to sign up. Even though in foundation we don't have sign up, but the rich content that you will go through, as Kumar explained, there are maybe 36 courses. You will end up doing only 8. So what you are going through, what your close friend going through, another roommate going through, another acquaintance going through. So there is space for different conversation, and there is space for understanding the breadth and depth of art and design practice. We all come, I mean, even when I entered art school, I only felt that artist is someone who will just sit and paint in his or her studio, and the ideas just come from somewhere and it flows into you and you just paint and go and exhibit. But artistic practice, I'm sure some of you have gone through looking at, done some research. It is far more than just that. That is one aspect. Designer creating something beautiful is one aspect. Designer getting into working on problem solving mode is one aspect. But there are a lot more to be a designer, to be an artist. So that's what Srishti provides you. So when Mahesh asked me what is a 4 year, so you start with, I mean, I quickly wind up. So what I'm saying is it varied. Each one's journey might be, as I took the metaphor of train, we both might start in one train, but when we get off, we might get off on a different platform, different station. We might get on into a different train. How that happened? Because we both can choose different set of courses, even though we both, let's say, are in the same signed up for the same discipline, but there are possibilities where you can sign up for different courses. So that's the second and third year, a lot of different courses. So we come back, converge into one place where we get into a project mode in year 3 and year 4. We are largely talking about a 4 year program. I think we'll organize another seminar for 3 year program. So we converge, and again, uh, just yesterday there was a sign up for projects. This is the eighth semester, but even seventh semester, which is year 4, first semester, there are 15 projects. One of you might be in one project, another is another project, even though you are from the same discipline. And then the last eighth semester, another set of 15 projects. So as Mahesh pointed out, each one journey can be different. Each one might discover different things when they do this journey. Because of their discovery, each one might go in different directions. So all those are the possibilities, Mahesh.
Yeah. Thank you, Ramesh. Now, there is also a pertinent question which I'll actually ask Kumar. A question that we keep getting asked is that, do I need to know to be a designer, or even filmmaker or an artist? Should I have the ability to draw, or should I like drawing?
Okay.
Like there was a question here from Neil Jacob, which actually comes in that same line of thought. Therefore, I'll ask, how important is for a student aiming to study product design? How important should the student be good at art? I mean, the student wants to study graphic design. Product design. I think it could be for anything. So can you please tell me, do I need to be able to draw?
Yeah. So, I mean, earlier art and design meant what is that only you draw, nothing else. So I think we have moved far ahead now. I think drawing is only a skill. It is about expressing an idea. So how do you express an idea? Through a sketch, through some medium, right? So we think at Srishti that if you have the imagination, a skill can be learned. So you can put your idea onto the paper and iterate it as many as times to find your final expression. And as long as you have the zeal to express in an art form, in a drawing sense, so we look at it as a skill which can be developed. Okay, so as long as you have a critical thinking, your thinking is in place. We don't see drawing is a compulsory skill that you enter into art and design. If it's there, it's an added value in you, and it helps you to quickly express. If you are still finding yourself there, it is all right to come and explore it here. And all courses or programs or units, we call it here, the drawing, color, and many other principles are embedded in the units. So what happens is you encounter drawing in every unit. So there is scope for you to develop the skill. Okay, and we have experts who can help you to figure out in a easier manner. So I think it is not a compulsion.
That's good. Yeah. So Neil, I hope it answers your question as well. Kumar, you said something earlier saying that we in the foundation we let students experiment and even fail.
Right.
So what happens to my grade then?
All right, yeah, that's an interesting question. So what I mean when I say fail is we don't have to necessarily look at the final outcome. We look at the process. So the more you ideate, the more you fail, I think the more better results you will arrive at. So I'm not looking at failing in a unit. I'm looking at failing at your experiments. So and we are very open for someone to experiment and explore and fall and get up and fall and get up. So that's what I meant by failing. So it is not connected to your grade. Your final, the number of ideations you do will lead you to successfully get a good grade. That's what our ways of working is.
So basically, we are looking at the process from how you go from point A to B in that course, in that 5 weeks or whatever at the time.
And to add to that, Mahesh, that we don't look at every student to go from A to Z. I mean, so there are some who would go from G to Z, some would go from A to P, so it is all right. It's everyone's journey, and we value that journey that they're going through. And we want to support that that length of journey that they want to travel. Yeah, that's what.
To everybody who's here, just to add to what Ramesh and Kumar have been saying, we have students who are very left-brained, they're analytical, they're interested in processes, understanding design processes. One of the 8th semester projects in 2024 was by Kasturi Pathak, who is in Pune now. Her work was about who feeds Maharashtra, about the onion farming and the mechanics of it. It is very interesting. It's got nothing to do with drawing or art, but it had everything to do with designing a process there, which she is still working on it, by the way. But somebody else might have done a comic, might have done a painting. People have done a large oil painting or a series of paintings. So there's a lot of different possibilities that people can offer. People can explore. Now there are lots of questions coming in. So maybe I'll, it helps us, I think, to answer them as we go along. Now the one question I'm talking about is, people are asking about the admission process. We'll come to it in a bit. About majors and minors, can we have a major in one discipline and minor in another? Ramesh, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, there is only one major, and you can have 1 minor, 2 minor, 5 minors. So what happens in most of the universities or largely American universities, you have 1 major and 1 minor. They might be opening up and saying 1 major, 2 minor. But what we feel is that your units within art and design, they are interconnected. For example, if you're doing a film, let's say you join film, there is a creative writing workshop or we call course a unit. So Imagine creative writing is offered by uh, contemporary art practice. Now, you don't have to call it a minor, even though you are taking that course which is offered by another discipline. It's so interconnected because when I'm making film, I need to write script, and creative writing helps me to look at how to think out of the box while I write. Similarly, let's say film student, I'll keep to the same example so that it's easy to understand. Looking at a unit offered by business service system design. See, and you can imagine that film and business, how is it connected? Yes, maybe you can make that connection through the marketing of Hollywood or Bollywood or any even regional films. So how do they market? What is how do they capture the imagination of the audience? So maybe business service system design is not teaching that, but they'll say, okay, who is your stakeholder? Who are you connecting to? What are the processes or the methods in which you understand your user? So you can easily connect it to the audience. When they say user, you can connect it to audience here. So going back to the question, so you can have many different courses. They are all interconnected, and someone else within the film course may not be interested in the business side of film. They might be interested in, okay, I am interested in making films which are about society and social concern. So they might choose a course which is very different. Maybe they might choose a course offered by information arts and information design, which is about ecology and environment. How do we as designers connect and bring communities together to whatever, save trees or save forests or save tribal community. It can be any of that. So that might be your concern as a filmmaker. So choosing one major, one minor, then defeats this whole purpose of one student, one timetable. Yeah, yeah. I hope I've answered that.
Yeah, thanks, Ramesh. As I said, there is a lot of questions about admission process. We'll come to it and we'll answer them together. But before that, there's a question on assessment. How does a student get assessed? Kumar, is it at the end of the year, or is it continuous assessment and then a summative assessment? Kumar, could you please tell us about the difference
Yeah,
between continuous and summative assessments?
right, right. So our process is that we have formative assessment and summative assessment. So a student is continuously assessed and graded in every unit. We call a specific class as a unit for a certain time period. So here a student is formatively assessed. What is the advantage here is to see how a student is progressing in that unit from time to time. It is not about trying to judge them. It is about trying to say where are the areas that one is strong, what are the areas that one can improve, and what are the opportunities that one should create to improve that. So this is what formative assessment helps in, and it is every unit. So I'm constantly looking at myself I'm competing with myself and I'm trying to improve consistently. And then at the end of the semester, I do have something called a summative assessment, where we do have a work that is, judged by a jury member, and again we offer grades to it. And so a student is able to work under mentorship and without mentorship. And so at the end of the day, he can reflect back and he or she can say how I've been performing this semester with guidance and without guidance. That is the kind of assessment that happens at Srishti. Yeah.
So thank you, Kumar. So basically, there is this formative assessment that happens at the end of every class, every unit.
Unit.
Let's
Yeah.
say 5 weeks that are or a workshop of 2 weeks long, etc.
Right.
And then at the end of a semester, we give them that summative assessment is about 2 weeks of. They're given a task which they have to complete in
Right.
class, and
Right.
then that is assessed by a jury under by
Yes.
opposite process.
Right.
And the combination of both of these grades are their cumulative grades, etc. Right?
For
And
the semester.
yeah.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Nicely put.
Typically, you will do around 5 units in a semester. Typically,
Right.
and that means you do 10. That's the first 3 years, even first, second, even third year. Typically, you do around 5 units in a semester, and then you will have the assessment unit. So that, or even if I include assessment unit, summative assessment unit, then it's 6 unit. Otherwise, you do roughly 5.
Right.
Yeah, and I'd like to add, Manish, that the summative assessment then does not sum you up for the semester.
Okay.
Summative assessment is just one aspect of the semester. So your grades of every unit, the 5 units that Ramesh mentioned, is what your overall grades that you're earning. And summative assessment also gives you a certain grade, and it has got certain credits. So we work on credit basis. So the cumulative total credits that you earn out of this 5 + 1 is the total credits that you have earned in a semester, and then the same in a year. Yeah. So that's how it multiplies.
Oh, thank you. So the next question, there are a couple of questions on this. I'm combining that. Ramesh, this is for you. Now, what's the difference between BFA and BDes? Some Gurminder Kaur has asked, is the course design BDes is more practical? The placement opportunities will come. I'll address it a little later. But if you could please throw some light on the difference between BDes and BFA. Yeah, please, Ramesh.
If you are asking in terms of certificate, there's no difference. People are worried sometimes saying, I'm interested in film or animation, but I want BDes degree. So don't worry about that. It might be connected to your employability or your further studies. In both direction, I don't think I mean, from our students who have gone out, we know that people don't differentiate between the two. See, as I gave this example earlier, film and animation are under Bachelor of Design at NID. Even IIT, Nina Sabnani, who's part of our board, she was also teaching animation at IIT, but that comes under design. Many universities in US seem to put animation and film under design, whereas many universities in Europe seem to put art and film and animation under creative arts. So, because of this uh, art and design ecosystem itself, within there are slight differences between Asia, Europe, and US. We all seem to say, okay, it doesn't matter. End of the day, what is your portfolio? Will the direction, your ideological, philosophical, or your skill direction that you would like to go into, whether that align with institution, what institution is trying to teach her to make you kind of capable of, whether that aligns. So if you're worried about that, so don't worry in terms of the value of the certificate is same. Your value in terms of employability depends on your portfolio, and at times they'll also look at which institute you are from, because the employer will know, oh, students from Suti are good at this, student from an idea good at that. So they'll have those differences and those opinions. And next, in terms of further education, your masters, there are n number of examples where students have done a particular course in design in Srishti, but would have gone into
Ramesh?
her portfolio on her Insta page. She did visual communication here, but at RISD, she joined the liberal art program
Right.
within the School of Design. See, it was easy for her to get into that program because she was, even when she was at RISD, she was interested in liberal art component that we offer. So it's not difficult to move between BFA and BDes in terms of when you want to study abroad. Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is there's absolutely no difference between BDes and BFA as far as the outside world is
Value of
concerned.
certificate, how
It
people
doesn't
look at
matter.
that.
But basically, BFA, if you want to learn film, it's the BFA degree. What you want to learn is more important than.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I quote an example here?
Please,
In
please.
fact, I had a student who was a textile designer, but her minors were coming from BFA, so animation and so on. And she developed kind of a presentation which combined textile with animation, and she developed an ad, in fact. So that was the cross disciplinary takeaway that she could do. So, and then I have my textile students who are outside practicing as graphic artists, and they're doing very well. So, in fact, I sometimes tell them not to forget textiles. So that's how it is in the world. Yeah.
Thank you. So just to type Ria Lalwani's question. So there are end semester exams. Ria, yes, there'll be what we call the summative assessment. It'll be 2 week long at the end of the first semester, at the end of the second semester every year. And the fourth year, it's a different kind of work altogether. Students do 2 semester-long project. There'll be a 7th semester and 8th semester. They work on a subject through the semester, and they're continuously assessed as, in the sense, 3 times through each semester. They assess 3 times. That's how it is, Ria. There is so we have addressed various questions. Vanishri Bangar, what are the collaborations with foreign universities? Vanishri, if you go to our website, we have student experience at SMI, International Students Exchange Program. You will see all the our foreign university partners. Students have the opportunity to go for an exchange program in any one of these universities at their 5th semester, right, Ramesh? 5th semester.
Yes.
Yes, they can do that. And so that's that's on our website, Vanishri. Please take a look. There's another technical question, again by Vanishri. The first round of SMI exam is 16th and 17th. The KSET, I think that's Karnataka Common Entrance Test, I guess, are on the same dates as per today's news. But I think they are on the 18th and 19th. Ramesh, do you know anything about it?
No, I don't know. We have to look into this. We will see whether if KCT is on the same day, I'm sure. If it is on one of the day, then they'll say, okay, you have 2 options. If it is on both same days on 16th and 17th, it most likely it will change. Our dates will change. Yeah.
Our university will also will
Yeah,
be
because there is engineering test also.
yeah.
Considering that KCET and engineering, they will not
And we will put it out
collide.
on our website.
Yeah, that we will do.
Yeah. So that is okay. There is a question. There are many questions about placement opportunities. We shall I'll talk about it before going into the admission process. Now the placements, somebody has asked what's the placement opportunities if they do UI UX design or they do information design. Our students, we are just working on something called an engagement platform, where we are working with it's a collaborative platform with the industry, where students will have opportunity to collaborate with with the outside world, with the organizations and companies who are looking for work, and the companies can come and place their their job requirements, etc. We at the end of the third year, all students have to do the 4-year undergrad students have to do an internship compulsorily, so they get an opportunity to be go and work in various organizations. So our students who do as Kumar had earlier said, they may graduate as visual communication designer, but they go into films. Some of them do get into visual communication. Information arts students may become systems designers or comic book designers. So the opportunities are quite a lot, and all our alumni are doing quite well. And so, it is not that they may find a job soon after they graduate. Some of them find a job even before they, but some might say take some time, because it depends on their mentality. People also have to find their own space, their own path. So we have not had any issues, any problems in our students not finding, our graduates not finding any jobs. So I hope I have answered the question. Now, if we, okay, there is some question, Ramesh, I'll direct it to you. Ria again says, I'm not good with tech. I'm from humanities background. Can I still look at communication design? I guess she's talking about visual communications. Will we
Yeah,
be taught the basics?
great. I mean, if you're coming from a different discipline, that's very good. Because otherwise, everybody knowing how to draw, how to do one thing, and they're all in the same class, how boring it would be, no? So we really enjoy when I take class. If I have people from different backgrounds, science, commerce, NIOS, CBSC, IG board, IB board, that brings diversity and variety. Um, yeah, in fact, this is our problem. We feel that if there's no diversity, then it's not fun. Yeah, welcome. So if you are from a different background, you bring something else to the classroom. No, you bring that value to the classroom. So it'll be great.
Yeah. So before going into the admission process, there are questions like, is the test offline or online? Is there interview? Do you need portfolio? All these questions are here. Ramesh, if you could answer the, perhaps detail it out. Now there is one question I'll take before that is it true Srishti does not provide placement? We do not provide placement in the traditional sense. We don't, but we have a good connect with the industry. uh, we have a person, one of our colleagues, Seema Vinod, is a coordinator with the industry. Students do their internships in various different kinds of organizations. We also help when industries come to us and ask if they have candidates they can look at. We do send it across to our alumni base or student base. We are also coming up with a very interesting online engagement platform to help students find uh, employment opportunities as they graduate. It's very interesting. It's quite robust. That's under development, and it should be live sooner than later. That's, I hope I have answered the question. Now, there's again the question of, if BFA and BDes there's no difference, is there a reason why they are offered separately, Ramesh?
Yeah, so that's why I was. There are two, three things in my mind. I might stop at some, but anyway, let me answer this. So when I was talking about BDes, BFA, I said if you're looking at further studies, if you're looking at employment, those are the two. But now it looks like your question is about what is the nature of difference between BFA and BDes. Design tend to look at um, how do I identify I mean, this is a very classic model. You don't have to stick to that. It's easy to give you this example and explain it. So design looks at, one is problem solving. How do I improve existing model of anything, whether system, service, or product? Or looks at creative opportunities. So now I don't have to solve any problem. I don't want to improvise anything. But what is the creative opportunity here? How can I do something where uh, my audience, my user will come and experience it? So those are the three ways of understanding what designers do. Art practice per se opens up largely into not not so much about problem solving, not so much about improvising something, but it largely looks at what is my creative opportunity. So how do I express something? How do I have a perspective. I have a vision. I have an opinion. How do I put it together? What are the aesthetics of doing that? So that is the difference between two streams. But the what I said in my earlier conversation, that the tools, techniques, method you learn by being in animation or in film is enough for you to do a corporate film also, because what you learn is the lighting, handling camera, editing, putting the whole thing together. You can apply that elsewhere as well. Yeah, so I think I answered that. I'll just take up one strand of what Mahesh was saying. Historically, Srishti said we don't want to provide placement. It was also in the era where this placement fever was not so bad. And also, I think ideologically, we felt that you should be providing employment to maybe three other students from other colleges. So aim for that while we are doing our best to say yes. Recently, Infosys was there to interview seven of our students. Accenture came, all that we are doing. But my sincere request for all of you is to, India is a growing economy. There are lot more, I mean, your population of age group between 18 and 30 going to rule the, or in terms of population matrix, they are going to be a major chunk for next whatever 15 years or 20 years. So I think each one of us, it's not just government responsibility of the government to provide job for people. I think each one of us have to look at, how do I provide job for three or four people? If we do that, I think really all these talks of how India can become a whatever trillion economy, I lose the numbers, that can only happen if we take charge of providing employment rather than looking for employment. I mean, it may sound like a, you know, old man talking about ideology, but I think it's true. If you look at how um, many of the countries where uh, unemployment is a huge problem because of the same reason. Yeah. So I'll stop there about that. Quickly, should I go into admissions or you
Yeah,
want
let's
to?
let's go into there are a couple of other questions. I'll take it later, but we can talk about admissions briefly, the procedure, online, offline, interview or not, portfolio. What do we look for in our admission test? I think these are the
So it's all offline interview. I mean, not interview, the offline test, whatever we announced 16th and 17th. It's a 3 hour long test that there are two papers that may change a little bit. But again, historically, what we've done is first 90 minutes, you do get questions around spatial understanding, logical thinking, not so much of maths and comprehension, language, all that will happen first 90 minutes. And then second 90 minutes, we had created a paper around imagination, visualization, and how do you think. So almost like a first one is usual 10th, 11th standard kind of question, and beyond that it's critical thinking and analytical thinking happens. In the second one, your imagination. Yes, they might have a drawing component, but we are not assessing your ability to draw, how proportionate your drawing or whatever form that you've drawn. Don't worry, you should look at the criteria that we list, and it's normally it is not about the skill of drawing, it's about how well you, I mean, out of the box thinking, or your ideas and where it's coming from, things like that. So do look at criteria before you start. Don't get hassled that, oh, I have to draw something. Don't worry about that. um we don't do portfolio, we don't do interview after that. So it's only one 3-hour test between 16th and 17th. The reason for 2 days is that we might do 3-year program, test for 3-year program on one day, test for 4-year program on another day. That's why we listed 2 days. But it's a, if you apply to only 3-year program, you do one 3-hour test. Only 4-year program, one 3-hour test. If you apply to both, you might have to appear on both days. Before applying, just make sure go through our web page, our courses. For example, someone here asked here, is human center is part of the product design? No, we are offering human center design. We call it HCD as a separate course. Product design is listed, product and textile design listed under industrial art and design practice, IADP. So there are two separate programs. So get familiarized a little bit, because in one application, literally you can apply to all 11 courses. Yeah, but in order of your preference. So make sure that whichever course you want to desperately join, that should be your first preference. And what we have seen is people apply to 3 or 4 courses. You may not be saying, okay, I can do any course. No, you will have preference. Last year, largely people applied to one course. There are few applied to two, and no, people applying to one course was lesser. People applying to 4 courses was lesser. It's largely 2 or 3 courses people have applied. But having said that, it doesn't restrict you to apply to 4 courses. Make sure it's in order of your preference. And then, so we don't do anything else apart from the 3 hours, and we'll announce the result, and you will know whether you're in or waitlisted, all that. So the timeline on our website tells you the dates. Yeah. Um, so application is open. I think it's open till 15th of March. And before you start applying, before your boards, please go through our website and make an application. Yes, we don't look at, these are the usual question. We don't look at portfolio. There's no interview. Yeah. Have I outlined everything?
Yeah. The like somebody's saying, can we get any sample papers of the entrance exam? No, there is no sample papers because each time it's different. And when people ask ask me, parents, how do we prepare? How do we prepare for your interest? What I tell them is that don't prepare. Just be yourself. Sleep well the previous night, rest well, come, and enjoy the process. So that's what it is. So that's what it is. HCD is human-centered design. Please go to our website. It has all the information. When do we get the admit cards, Amitabh? Anilab, you will get it soon after, a few days after the application process, the round one closes. It'll automatically come to you.
You might get it around 4 or 5 days before the test, because we don't send your hall ticket as and when you apply. We'll wait for the last date, which is 15th of March, and then you might get it around first week of April, because you don't need it before that.
Okay, we are running out of time. There are very quick questions. In UCEED, how does UC work, Ramesh? I mean, if you have certain rank, you don't have to do particular, it's round one, isn't it?
Yeah, say if you have any rank in UC 600 or below, you have an option not to do test one. As I explained, there's test one and test two. You have an option of not doing test one. See, from my experience, I feel you should, since you are applying, you do both because we take whichever is the highest.
Now, so I think we have answered all the questions. There is one question was how do we select? I mean, do you want to talk about it? In a sense, the question is how does the program allocation work? Is it according to the does it work in accordance with the preferences we put in during the application, uh, or is it influenced by the admission process while allotting programs? And does
It's
it?
percentile based. Basically, if you apply to a course where the number of applications are more, then the cutoff for that course would be higher. Where there are courses, if you apply to courses which are less demand,
Yeah.
percentile will be slightly lower.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. So we will, as much as possible, we will do the first preference. Then if your mark is below the cutoff of the course that you applied, you will get into the second and third and so on and so forth. Yeah.
So there's no studio test, there is no SOP, that statement of purpose required. So we are close to winding up the webinar. There's one question, I think it is interesting that has come up, Ramesh. I'll put it to you, saying, are the principles of Srishti, in bracket original, well, we are still the original Srishti, as we have seen years before the Srishti stories of yore, followed are the principles of Srishti that is followed at the new Manipal Srishti campuses too. So Kumar, how does it work in foundation? I mean, have you changed anything?
Absolutely not. And Manipal is very happy with the way we are driving the whole curriculum. And our curriculum is evolving every year, in fact, every semester. So we have totally have an autonomy on it. And the Srishti philosophy and the process is the same from the time it has been born. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Ramesh. So which basically means that our learning processes, course facilitation, the curriculum, pedagogy, nothing has
Changed.
changed. And we
Yes.
improve it, and we have a very good relationship on that with the university
Right.
management. So yeah.
This might be talk of the town also. I mean, sometimes I've seen that so-called our competitors might be using is not the same and all that. Just to kind of put it in one more perspective, as Kumar said, on ground, in classroom, no change. One more perspective is that yes, Srishti was very small, and the agility of a smaller organization is very different from a larger organization. So certain things you have to give up in order to invite some of the other things. Say, for example, now we were in four rented buildings or five rented buildings. They're all smaller. Now we have seven buildings which are larger. In terms of footprint, I think we have triple the space of what we had. In terms of your facilities, infrastructure, we always talked about our philosophy, our ideology, our pedagogy, our curriculum. We never were interested in our infrastructure. We never talked about it when we talked to students like this. But if you now come to campus, you will know we can talk about our green screen studios, our recording studios, our workshops, and our various different studios and labs and centers. So that's the difference. We are in a 40-acre campus where you are working maybe with when you come and maybe in your second third year you might work with students from Manipal Institute of Technology. There are liberal arts students, there are students from law. So again, I only talked about Srishti ecosystem, but if you look at campus ecosystem, it's very different. You have a sports facility, and so organization is big. It works in slightly different way than what Srishti was. But if you look at at least 60, 70% of the people, we're all from, we were there and we are here. Yeah.
I think what we are saying is the core value is as is.
Yeah.
The peripheral has expanded.
And
But
yeah,
then,
there are changes for sure.
yes,
That
yes.
that is bound to happen.
That's evolving. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a is there a weightage for between test 1 and 2, Ramesh? Last question, I think.
No, there's no equal weightage to
Equal
both.
weightage. Quickly, other questions. Intake per program varies. It could be anywhere between 30 to 60 or 90. Depends on that one history. Well, the university we are associated with is Manipal Academy of not we are a constituent unit. It's not associated. We are a part of Manipal Academy of Higher Education, which is one of the top private universities in India. That's what it is. So that's about it, I think, for now. And thank you very much for all the attendees for have been here for the last 1 hour. And thank you, Kumar and Ramesh, if for your valuable inputs. Please, our website has all the contact details. Admissions at srishtimanipal.institute.in is our admissions email ID. The phone number is on our website on the footer of all pages. So if you have any further questions, please feel free to write to us. If you are in Bangalore, please feel free to drop by at the campus. One of our counselors will meet you and talk to you. Some of the faculty's members who are free will also be able to meet you. So we are quite open. Please come in and we hope to meet you soon. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you and good night to everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Good
And
night.
have a great weekend. Bye-bye.